Okay, welcome to week 7 in the first quarter of English 12. This week is a fun week, but I hope you get started on it soon because it is somewhat time consuming because we're watching the film versions of The Merchant of Venice. And this is one of my favorite things to do. I love watching films, especially based on things I've read. I love to compare the way I interpret things, the way I imagine things to look in my head to the way a director puts it up on the screen. So this week it's going to be fun, but just make sure you plan ahead so that you have time to actually watch the films. This week, before you begin watching the movies, you're going to read this background on the film comparison. You will hear from the two different directors of the two different film versions that we'll watch about what their vision was and what decisions they made when they were directing the films. You'll have a quiz on that just so that I can make sure that you actually read and watch this information. Then there's going to be a discussion where you'll compare the films. Well, that's the assignment, one of the assignments for the week. Of course, you'll have to do that after you watch the movies. And then you have a written assignment comparing the films based on different things like the setting, the dialogue, different choices that you will learn about. So one of the film versions is this Michael Radford version from 2001. This was a Hollywood produced film, high quality as far as they look like they have a good budget and great equipment to use and editing and video and things like that. It's a lovely film with great actors, some that you might recognize. So you'll watch that first. Now, just a warning, the film, we had to break it up into parts because it's so long. And each part, it might take a while to load because it's pretty large. So just take your time, just open it up and give it some time before you freak out that it's not working, because it's never not worked for a student. You just have to give it time. So notice there's 10 different links. So it's a full-length movie. And then the second version that we'll watch is this Trevor Nunn version. This was more like a stage production of The Merchant of Venice. So it doesn't have the setting. It's all filmed on a stage. And obviously doesn't have the same budget, but good acting. So the reason I like to show these two versions is they are so different. In fact, this second version takes a completely different setting. It's actually set in more modern times in the 1930s. And if you read this preliminary information, you'll know that. So then you'll watch the second film. And of course, fill out the written assignments. That's it for week 7. Only a couple of assignments. Make sure you're taking notes as you're watching the film and have fun with it. And again, it's not difficult to watch films. It's fun, entertaining to me anyway, but it does take time. So make sure you plan in that time. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.